Do. Welcome to my studio. Oh, Agana, you're on right away. Wow. What's up? Okay. Well, Agana, welcome to the show. Let me grab you here. Hold on. Do. I'm waiting for you, Agana. What's up, Josh? Dr. Fademan. What's good? What's good? What's up, Bust the Drip? Hey,
What's happening?
how are you? Where are you? Are you you're outside?
This is my backyard.
Nice.
Okay, slash.
I like how you were on before anybody. When I say I'm going live at 10, people show up at like 10:05.
I noticed that. I wanted to be punctual.
That's good, as you should be. Did you do that painting in the background?
I did.
Very cool.
Fresh and recent.
Fresh and recent.
Painted last week.
Do you have a tripod right now?
No, you're
Oh,
on a plant holder.
oh, nice. I can't find my tripod. By the way, Josh gave me this really cool tripod, but I'm not using it right now.
Fancy.
Okay, so I was gonna tell the story about you and I and what the deal is with how we met. I was gonna wait till like 10:35,
We could.
but we could just go there right now. Like people will be like, "What are they talking about? Who cares?"
Yeah.
What's up, sucker photograph? Okay,
Oh.
Agana, I had a TV show called Art Throwdown, which was on Oxygen. You probably never heard of the network, thank God. And we auditioned many people, Agana being one of the most talented. And so that's how I met Agana, is through my show that was on Oxygen called Art Throwdown. I don't know if any of you have seen the show, but it was we did 10 episodes. Is that what it was? 10 episodes?
Mm-hmm.
But we bounced Agana out after one episode, which my partner and I talked about that later as being the single most critical era of the show. And we believe that's why, and then you could talk to all this. We believe why perhaps the ratings didn't perform as well, besides the fact that Oxygen was completely the wrong place for it, to be honest. And it was also overproduced. I have a garbage truck right there, guys, so just bear with this incredible noise. You hear that?
Beautiful music.
Can you hear it or no?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, very loud. But it also gives me that urban feel that I've wanted, that garbage in the background. You can smell the sounds of it. So, and by the way, on that note, Garbage Street waved hello. What's up, Garbage Street? Listen to the garbage truck. And let me talk about my TV. So on the TV show, we were trying to cast Agana legit artists who were really legit in the game. But I don't know if you know this or not, a little bit of the backstory, but they weren't, because they wanted to indemnify themselves, we couldn't have anybody that had a prior criminal record. So even if you were an incredible artist and a really great personality and kind of perfect for the TV show, if you were caught pissing in public, loitering, writing, tagging on a wall when you were younger, you were not able to come on the show because they didn't want to deal with the legality of it, and they wanted to make sure that they were held harmless and indemnify themselves. So it created a problem with casting because we weren't able to get a lot of people that we wanted on the show who would have been really entertaining and talented for the show. However, we were able to get some people like yourself who were very talented. And then, I believe, and Darren Chavez, my partner, remember Darren on the show, who was my lawyer and my business partner, he really believed strongly that the single most detrimental thing to the show was losing you because we lost a lot of credibility,
Wow.
which we agreed, which I think now in hindsight, we could agree that that is the case, because I believe that you were probably altogether, you know, you were the most like legit street artist of, everybody. And look, we had a lot of talented people. We had Cam was talented, who won the show, and Annie Priest was very talented. She's off the rails. Grim Nasty was super talented, and then there was a lot of people who were just like fillers, who were really not at the level, and so that was a deal. So what's your perspective on all that? And then we can talk about that before we get on to the new shit.
I know that I met a lot of amazing artists. I really enjoyed the experience. I learned a lot. It was kind of like a beginning of me stepping into like the film Hollywood world with my art. And I enjoyed that aspect. But yeah, I was ready to go hard to the end for sure. So it was like a shocker. I thought it lost ratings because of the something where you said like it was like a term where like bombing is where you go over everybody, but it's not. And then like I think the terms got wrong, like mixed up, and so I thought that's why.
I think we were kind of dead in the water from the beginning because we were just on a network. And by the way, guys, we're talking about Street Art Throwdown, which was a TV show that I did years ago, which was the first ever reality competition show about street art. And I don't know if you know this, but how much shit I got for doing this, which was crazy. How many death threats I got, how many people were really not like, who would hit me up like, yo, man, if you ever come here, we're gonna, you're gonna get killed for doing the show. And then they would DM me like, yo, can I be a judge though? And I'd be like, what? Like, you're just, I mean, we had legitimate judges. We had Mir One,
Yeah.
very legit. Ron English, very legit. Lady Pink, very legit. We had very legit people. OG Slick, very legit. A lot of really great people joined, and I feel like if it would have gone season 2, 3, it would have caught on. But it was just, I think it was really ahead of its time. But I wanted to sincerely tell you that I think it was a huge mistake losing you in episode 1, because you could have done so many great things. Episode 2, right? Of course, episode 2. But it was too early, too early for you.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, it was a runaway train, because as much control as I thought I had as the creator, executive producer, you really can't be a creator on a reality show, but you can be the executive producer and the face and the host and the voice. I really didn't have any control. I had zero control.
Yeah.
And I had to sit there with Lauren, who I'm like, she doesn't know shit about street art. She doesn't know shit about urban art. And I got to pretend and like hold a form with her. She was a nice person, but I'm being realistic. It was a complete ridiculous situation. And it was a female network. And so we had to, placate the audience and the network to say like, oh, there's a girl standing here with me, with BUA, so it justifies the female network of it all. And it's like, fitting shit into a box is ridiculous.
Yeah, it seems like those shows have a formula, like they're yeah, it seems like it's already kind of planned out ahead of time, even though it's supposed to be authentic reality. I don't know.
Did you get a lot of people like, oh my God, you shouldn't have got kicked off? That was bullshit.
Yeah. A couple people hit me up afterwards. Actually, like Human hit me up, who's one of my favorite artists. She was like, "You were the only one with talent on that show," and I was like, "Oh."
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I would say you were probably you definitely were one of the most talented people on that show for sure.
It was a hella amazing.
No, I mean, look, Annie Priest is incredible, but is she like a street artist with hand style and incredible lettering? No, that's not what she did. You know what I mean? She was more of a fine art person.
Yeah.
And Cecile Knox said reality shows are lightly scripted. It sure was.
Yeah.
It sure was, Cecile. Just a little bit. You know, at the end of the day, look, but I enjoyed meeting you, and I was like, you know, definitely that's why I have you here is because, you know, you are a legit talent. And let's talk about what you're doing. What's your life like since the show? Now, what are you doing now?
Um, like, well, since the show, I got to travel a lot with my art, which has been amazing. And I have travel plans. So once the travel restrictions are released, I can actually like start going places again.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple things coming up, like the next level. It's like a hip hop element, cultural exchange where you travel to different countries, and then I would be doing the graffiti, like street art painting with different folks from different countries. I have that coming up. The Lille. I don't know. Have you been to Lille, France?
Where's that in France? I've been all over France, but I don't know where Lille is.
It's a little town, but they have like a festival with Reynard Collective. So I'm gonna go out there. I have a huge wall in Spain. I'm gonna go
Oh,
paint.
go.
Yeah,
So is that what you do? You basically travel around the world and paint murals? Is that your life?
that's the master plan.
That's
Yeah,
the master plan. So are you completely supporting yourself through your art career?
at this moment, yes,
That's great.
yes.
That's all. That's
No
cool.
longer at my day
Big
job.
Girl Phoenix says, "What's up?" How about BUA? What's up? How about get down with BUA Rocksteady crew right here? What's up, Big
What's
Girl Phoenix? Jesus. So you are making a career spray painting murals around the world.
mm-hmm.
Okay, and if you don't know Agana now, it's a little misleading because to find you, you have to check out, you have to hit the tag DJ
Oh
Agana.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so talk about that. Are you more of a DJ or are you more of a graph writer?
I think I'm more of a graph.
I
Agana was
think you
my
are.
DJ name, but everybody called me Agana. So I didn't even write Agana before, but it was my DJ name, and it just kind of like morphed into my art name and my name. Period. Like nobody calls me Vanessa, really.
Yeah. So where did Agana come from?
So my sister, who's a pianist, she's played in all sorts of bands. She always had your art up on her music studios, which is
Oh,
interesting.
cool.
But she gave me the name. She was looking for names for her record label. And so Agana means the path of Yamaya, which is the ocean, mother. He's basically the the mother of life. And
Nice. That's what that means?
mm-hmm,
In what language?
like Yoruba and Santeria.
Okay. And do you speak Spanish, Agana?
Claro que sí, hablo español.
Okay, claro que sí.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So one of us does. Okay, excellent. As you can see, I'm a fake Puerto Rican who speaks no Spanish. So,
It's also like con ganas, like échale ganas, like give it
okay.
all, everything.
Agana, everybody, you got to follow at DJ underscore Aganas. And Agana, people are saying that you spit mad fire too. Can you spit a little mad fire up in this motherfucker?
Ah, I wrote a song for Mother's Day.
Let's do it, right? What a great time. Just do a little tribute to Mother's Day, pre-Mother's Day.
Okay. Wow, you put me on the spot.
Of course, because look, this is like, you got to think about this as like MTV Unplugged. You remember that shit back in the days? Like, this is an intimate crowd of people, so everybody gets to hear you spit a little fire, and
Okay.
that would be a thank you to JACINTO, who's the one that like called you out. So just to keep it real.
Oh, he's the one I wrote the song with, my neighbor.
There you go. Yo, Kel says, drop them bars. Let's go.
All right.
And if you need me to beatbox, I can. So just let me know.
For sure. You can join it. Para las madres que llevaban nuestras vidas, la puerta donde entran tus vivas, desde el pasado, futuro a presente. Somos la llave entre la vida y la muerte. Somos tierra que lleva la cosecha que somos, el monte de muchos, cenizas de todos, amas conocidas, mil abuelas y madrinas. Eso es para las madres más queridas. Sana, sana culote de mi mamá. Si no nace hoy, nacerá mañana. Gracias, dulas y parteras que nos guía con su fuerza y su sabiduría. ¿Sí? Somos el agua es divina. Nacimos en agua porque el agua es vida. Somos el agua es divina. Nacimos en agua porque el agua es vida, vida, vida.
Nice. Thank you. That was
Happy
amazing.
Mother's Day.
Happy pre-Mother's Day to all the great mothers out there. Yes. I can't wait to repost my mom and I. I got a couple of crazy videos where my mom is dancing, and then my mom is on too many edibles with me as well. So me and my mom be smoking flowers together.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's crazy. My mom's 82, Agana. How old's your mom? I know.
76?
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
Wow.
Okay, good. Look, so you, in a very classic way, you are hip hop. Where is your story from? Are you born and bred in the Bay Area?
I've been in the Bay most of my life, but yeah, the Bay is my home. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I was in Venezuela when I was 2 and then moved around a lot. The Bay has been my home. I live in Richmond now. I've been here for a while, but originally from Oakland. And yeah, people call me like the Renaissance lady of hip hop. I like make jewelry, and
Let me see your jewelry that you make. Come on, show everybody your jewelry. I always love your jewelry.
so here's a
Yeah, that's so dope.
piece that Dill from TDK design.
Let me see here. Yeah, bring it a little closer. Boom. Not that close. Let's not get crazy.
Okay.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay.
Too close. Also make
That's
jewelry.
dope.
Made this line for Dream.
Shit, Ghana. So Ghana, you're making jewelry, you're DJing, you MC, but your main thing is writing graffiti.
Yeah, I've always had synesthesia. Like one element inspires the other, but I feel like my art has really taken off, and I have to do art. Like I feel weird if I don't create art constantly. So that's kind of been like my main survival mechanism and tool.
Are you doing that like all day, every day? How many hours of the day are you devoting to your craft?
Dang, as many as possible in between like breastfeeding and mommy stuff.
And you say mommy stuff. Tell me about that.
I have a 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Wow, that's crazy. That's between mommy stuff. That sounds full time.
Yeah, it's back to back. So that's been fun.
Has it been fun? That's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, that's the best, one of the greatest creations ever, right?
Yes. I saw you, baby, in the
I
script.
got, yes, and I have her too, you know.
Oh, cute.
I flipped the camera to you and she's pissed at me for flipping the camera to her. But don't worry, I got it, quick. So, yeah, no, so, I more than anybody get balancing children and work, and how do you make that happen? Like what is that? Like what can, especially young ones, because they're so fucking demanding. No, because they're, it's 24/7. So how do you do that?
I think it's actually helped me manage my time better because I'm like, okay, I know he's gonna nap for like 2 hours right now, so
Mhm.
I have 2 hours to get all this done, and I'm gonna bust. Whereas like before, I was all leisurely, have all this
Yeah,
time, whatever.
that
But
makes
yeah, it makes you like,
that makes so much sense. Like it really makes you, like, if you're not good at time management, which I'm not, and I have like 5 different deadlines, and I'm like, shit, I have to get my kid to jujitsu practice, and I have to feed, whatever it is, you got to manage your time so efficiently. You become more efficient. And then
yeah,
when you blast, you go like, you just wear your blast goggles and you just get to the grind. You become grindy.
yes.
Agana, do you have a pen and paper?
I have a giant.
I always wanted a pet. This is what I always thought. I always wanted a shtick. Like you have. I like your look as an artist. Do you know, like, do you feel like Frida? You know, the artists that look the part always look the part, right? Picasso with his bald head and his very famous sailor shirt. Um, Dali with his Raleigh fingers, rolling mustache. Um, you know, just Frida Kahlo with her mustache. Speaking of mustaches, and you know, and her hair and her flowers. You have your own Agana-esque look. I don't really have a look. I feel like I've always lacked a look. You've got your own jewelry, your long, like beautiful Rapunzel hair, but I don't really have a look. I always feel like I always wanted a giant pencil to carry with me everywhere. You know, without being like, remember Dali? Dali? Yeah, exactly. Dali had the mustache, but Dali also, he had a crutch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he had a crutch, and the crutch was always inserted in his paintings, and the crutch was always holding up some kind of phallus because he was, well, questionably, who really knows what, you know, Dali had or did not have, but apparently he was more asexual. He had a problem with getting it up. He was flaccid. And so his crutch that he carried in real life was always in his paintings, holding up a flaccid uh, penis like symbol.
Wow.
And then when he got older, he got even crazier, and he would have like animals that he would bring to interview shows.
Whoa.
Yeah, so he had a anteater. He used to travel with an anteater.
Wow.
So he had the mustache, the slick back hair, this bizarre personality that you felt was on drug. An armadillo. Whirlwind Dreamer says he had an armadillo. I don't know that. I know he definitely had an anteater. Maybe he had an armadillo. That makes sense. But he also, you know, people thought he was on drugs, and he said, I'm not on drugs. I am drugs.
Whoa. That's
So, but a lot of that was a persona that he cultivated for the outside world. Do you feel like you've cultivated that for the outside world? Because you have the accoutrements, the look, like Frida Kahlo, like Dali, like Picasso, and some people don't, you know. But I feel like you do. You feel like you have that?
I mean, I
I
feel
don't know if he painted with semen, Esha Kimani. I don't think he did. I mean, maybe. He took semen once. Sorry, I don't want to interject, but Dali took semen. He had a very abusive, controlling father. And sorry, Agana, people are calling me. His last interaction with his dad was he was at the beach with his friends, and his dad came there, and he took a bag of his semen and he threw it at his dad's face.
oh my God.
So I don't know if he mixed it with his paints, but he definitely threw a bag of his jizz at his dad as a final fuck you farewell father, not to be alliterative, fuck you farewell father, but he did that because his father was incredibly abusive and controlling.
Mm.
And uh and that was a true story, and I doubted the story until I saw one of his best friends who was in her 80s recall the story to a T
Wow.
on video. Yeah, like she's on camera. You could look that up too if you guys want to look that up.
Going to
Dolly throws a bag of semen at his father, and that's a very true story. But do you feel like you have to create a persona these days in order to kind of navigate in the art world?
um yeah, but I feel like myself just comes naturally. I'm not like, you know, I'm just being myself. But there is like, I don't know, you want people to take you seriously. So you gotta kind of represent as much as you can, like what you believe in, everything.
Do you think that there's a lot of fraudulent people out there in the art world who have made it predicated on perhaps a persona and not their abilities?
I think there's people that have made it on like trendy stuff, like drying a cream cone or whatever it is that
But
they
say that again. I didn't hear that. You cut out.
like painting an ice cream cone or or a cupcake or a unicorn or something. Like there's lots of people that made it with their art with things that are more trendy than like deep or meaningful, but
Uh-huh.
maybe they're deep and meaningful to them, so I can't judge.
Who is your favorite artist who is really real, like who you really feel is bringing it in terms of authenticity?
Actually,
Don't
like
say me, by the way. It's totally embarrassing for me to say that. So just skip over me. We'll assume it's true. Just kidding. Yeah, who else though? Seriously.
actually my uncle, he's
Uh-huh.
a like famous conceptual abstract artist,
Okay.
and he was the one that introduced me to Miami and Wynwood, like when I was a little kid. And so I've seen like Art Basel and Wynwood in Miami, everything just I've seen it from nothing to what it is now. And we've recently reconnected, and he's really been the one to kind of like challenge me and make me think differently why I'm creating and who I'm creating for and what I'm creating. And yeah, he's been teaching me about like how it's just like this inward journey.
Who is your Tio? What is his name so people can look him up?
His name is Eugenio Espinosa.
Okay. Don't know how to. Espinosa, obviously, but
Yeah, I'll put it in. But his thing is tracto moderna, like
okay.
modern art, and that's why I've been trying to like think about different things that I make. Like,
Yeah, let's see. Let's see some of these things that you make, Agana.
I've been like trying
Oh,
to
that's
cut.
so cool.
We got this thing. This is from my dream.
Oh, I love your hand styles. I'm gonna have you do some drawing with us right now. You're so good. That's so cool. So what is that? Is that you? Let me see that. You got to get it out of the sun. Bring it up. Yeah, that's really cool.
This is my corazon with my Isas that I paint. Yeah, just trying to like branch out medium wise. I really want to do what he does is like kind of interactive installation art. So,
Okay.
so like there'll be like a church in Italy, and he'll create this weird canvas that's everywhere, and then people will come in and like take it apart and rearrange it and make art off of his art, basically like interact with it. So yeah, I'm trying to think more experience wise because
Hmm.
I mean, public art is an experience, but I want people to like interact with it even more besides just looking at it.
Hmm. So, so you're doing a lot of like sculpture, three-dimensional, playing with space in that way?
I mean, I've done sculptural stuff with jewelry, but no, I think I want to create more like experiences. Yeah, I'm creating more
Okay.
experiences.
Got
So,
it.
like you walk into a room and it's like a whole experience.
So what else, who else is your favorite artist besides your uncle who nobody knew until this moment? Anybody that not saying it's an insular
Yeah.
reference. It's
No,
good because we need to expand our minds, but who else that we can connect the dots right away so that we can see what you're influenced by. I want to get into the head. I'm trying to pull up a chair and get into your fucking head, Agana. Let me just sit there and turn on the remote
come on here.
inside your head. Can you hear me? I'm
Yeah,
here. I'm inside you now.
you've been here this whole time. um, I mean, Mad C, of course. You already know
Mad C.
that. Mad C is like mind blowing.
Dude, she's such a real. Okay, so I backstory a little bit on anybody that saw the Mad C episode, but I was trying to get her on forever, and she's so shy in a way because she doesn't like to do. She doesn't want to be on camera. She doesn't want to talk. Like she's got that, and she's so cool, and she's so fun, and she's so interesting, and she's so talented. But finally, she was like, "Oh, fuck, I'll just do it." You know what I mean? But it was really great getting her. No, I love Mad C. She's great. Who
Yeah,
else?
that was inspiring. Um, shoot, Vogue and TDK, Master Vogue. He's been mentoring me a little bit. like showing me how to look at things differently, look at the world differently as like shapes. And like when I draw a portrait, he's like, don't look at the portrait, like look at the shapes, look at the like how the colors are interacting with each other. And I used to be like, okay, I'm drawing a face and a finger, but now I'm more like, okay, I'm drawing this light hitting this surface, bouncing off of this. Just trying to like see the world around me differently, and then use that perception in my art more. Yeah.
What is your Vogue TDK? Of course, gave you a you know, shout out to Vogue TDK. Um, what is your favorite color?
Turquoise.
Turquoise. Okay, I can see that. It's yeah, obviously.
Well,
That's
it means protection, and it's like the sun and I mean the sky and the water. So
the
yeah.
water, like the deep uh, agency or the Mediterranean, like something you would see in Santorini, Greece. That color, I love it.
Mm.
What do you think your greatest contribution to the world has been thus far?
I think the art that I've created that some young girls have seen me create and then seen it created afterwards, and their emotional response to it afterwards has been really mind blowing. Like I didn't like when you just go to get up and paint and have fun or whatever, you don't think that this piece I'm gonna paint is gonna run for like a decade at least, and everyone that sees it is gonna feel a type of way when they look at it. And yeah, I had a young girl, she hit me up. She said that she took the bus to the city, she went down an alley, and her intention was to take her own life. That a piece that I painted in that alley that I didn't even know was still there, it made her feel like beautiful, empowered, chingona. It was like this strong Chicana character, and she had a pistol and a paintbrush, and she was just like ready for. And she said that it made her feel beautiful, and it totally changed her mood that day. And she decided her life was worth living. And I would have never known that unless she would have hit me up and told me that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and every time I paint, I think about her. I think about like who's gonna see this, and how are they gonna feel? What's gonna happen afterwards? Like, what am I leaving behind? What kind of legacy? You know,
Mm,
seeds that I'm planting, like growing in people's minds.
I
So,
like that. Shayla asks, "Are you guys going to do a face mask with your art?" No, no way. I actually want to make sure that I don't do a face mask. I want to make sure that I breathe the air. I want to make sure that I take in the sunshine, and I want to make sure that I don't get caught up in the fear pornography of wearing a face mask. And besides, as you know, wearing a face mask with all the little fibers is going to lower your immune system invariably. So I want to keep my immune system high. Face masks off. Only wear a face mask if I have to wear a face mask in a store or wherever I'm required to wear a face mask. But otherwise, what an amazing, you know, not gonna wear a face mask. Let's
don't
just
drink
say,
the Kool-Aid.
don't drink the Kool-Aid. Exactly.
Oh,
In fact, I'm not wearing a face mask right now. You know, Shakespeare says, "False face doth hard, what the false heart doth know." So just recognize that there's a bigger picture here. Agana, so you do have a pencil and a paper?
yeah, it's giant.
Okay, you really don't have a one that you could just do some hand styles with, or?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you do. Okay, cool. So I want to ask you. Well, I wanted to show you this really cool thing, and I'm going to do it with you. I want you to line up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, let me get a pencil.
Okay. So this is a drawing exercise. Everybody at home do this. It's so easy. Grab a pen and a paper. Do this at home.
Okay.
Now, I want everybody. Well, one sec. I want everybody with who just did this.
I got it.
You might have to do a couple of them. You might not get it right the first time, the second time, the third. Maybe you might never get it to where we want to go. I want you to, with 4 lines, without removing your hand,
Okay.
I want you to get 4 lines that connects all of those dots without removing your hand. Okay? Everybody.
Wow.
4 consecutive lines without lifting your pencil from the surface. I want to watch you do it. Can you put the camera on you? I need to watch you. And I want everybody to do it. Yes. Oh, good. I'm glad you did a couple. Okay. Take a stab at it.
Okay.
Okay.
There's got to be straight, right?
Yep. No swirling. So that's 1, right?
2.
That's 2. That's right.
I'm in 3, and then how do I get those 3?
Okay, exactly. Okay. So let's just finish the line out. Finish the line out. Okay, great. You did a bow tie. Good job. Okay, now let's go over there and let everybody do this at home with us. This is critical thinking, guys. This is drawing, it's critical thinking, it's observation, it's extending beyond what you think you know, what you think you understand. Okay, Agana, we're going to take another stab at it.
Dang, do I get a pointer?
Well, I want you to think outside the box. So we're taking 9 dots and we're connecting it with 4 consecutive lines. Okay? 4 consecutive lines. 1. Oh, no, you can't lift your pencil from the paper, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, so we went here.
Okay, you got 1. Yep.
Dang, you can't lift it?
Nope.
I still have 1 left. I made a Z.
Yeah, you did 5.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did 5. You want
1, 2, 3, 4.
Do one more. Do one more. Everybody do this at home. Is everybody doing this at home? And if they figured it out, Dr. Fademan, we are doing 9 dots and we are connecting them all with 4 consecutive lines without lifting your pen from the paper. Agana's doing it. It's very, this is not like a, anything except an interesting thing. You know what I mean? It's a brain thing. Okay, Judith got 5 lines. 1, 2, 3.
I need 5 lines.
I know. Okay, so I'm gonna do it for you. Okay, guys, everybody watch this.
I want to see.
Okay. We have our 9 lines. We have our 9 dots. We have to think outside of the box. So I'm not going to lift my pencil from the paper. 1. Wait a minute. I've gone outside of the box. 2.
Oh.
3. 4.
Oh, you can leave the box?
Well, that's the whole point. That's what we're trying to do. We're always trying to leave the box. You can't be an innovator, Agana. You are an innovator. So we can't be an innovator unless we go outside of it. Let's stop thinking inside the confines of our own bullshit and imagination. Once we leave the box, then we're able to create greatness, create art, freedom, different. Anyway, I wanted to do that with you. It was really fun. Okay, so now, we're going to do another one.
Oh, snap.
No, but this is for you. We want to watch you create your what do you write, Agana? Is that your favorite? Like when you do a quick throw up or a quick, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Why don't you do just a quick Agana lettering?
Okay, I gotta grab some paint.
Oh, you're gonna paint?
Oh yeah. With the hand,
Oh, you're gonna grab a spray can?
Yeah.
Okay. This is fantastic. This is the best show.
What color do you want, BUA? What color do you want?
Turquoise, obviously, right? Oh my God, look at that. What an arsenal.
Okay. Let's grab one of these
Yo,
bottles.
I used to rack cans in the days. I don't think we have the greatest reception there, but
Oh, sorry.
that's a little fun assignment, right?
Yeah. What, racking cans?
No, no, the connecting the dots with the 4 lines.
Let me see. Let me flip this thing.
Okay, this is so cool.
This is
Ooh.
like turquoise on turquoise, though.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, you can't even see it.
You want to get like red or black or something?
Let me get a different color, yeah.
It's
Oh.
okay. This is like real footage. Like this is, by the way, Agana, that's how I wanted to do the TV show. I wanted to do it with like lipstick cams, like following, like really grimy and gritty and raw. But they were like, no, we need like 500 cameras at the same time.
Oh, wow. That's
Remember,
intense.
Street Art Throwdown was so produced. It was so heavily produced. And someone asked before if there's a possibility for a reboot. No possibility
That
for a
would be funny.
reboot.
Somebody told me they were making another season.
That's
I was like,
not
what?
true.
That's funny. That would be funny, though.
Yeah, it would have been funny. By the way, it's 11:11.
Oh, snap.
Okay, cool.
Can you even
Scott
see?
asked if you need a roommate because you have the coolest place ever. Scott from Scotland.
Hello, Scott.
Hello, Scott. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Ooh.
Little hand style.
And you know what's funny? It's so hard. Like can control is its own thing, right?
Definitely.
Man,
This is a quickie.
who has the best? That's
This
dope.
is
Who has the
beauty.
best hand control? Agana.
Oh, man. It's on the wrist.
Let me see your. Let me see that. Let me see that mural you did.
Oh, this. Bam. This is for Earth Day.
That's
It's
so
like
cool.
a Pam mural in your house.
Nice. You
So
have anything else?
she's in water. I mean, this is like random stuff everywhere. um, Here's like a piece I did where it's like letters cut out in different metal
That's
layers.
cool.
Kind
Wait,
of
does that
cool.
say revolt? No.
Yeah, it says revolt, but it says love
Like
in the
revolt from
middle.
like my neighborhood in New York City, old school, like 1982 at Riverside Park revolt that I grew up looking at as a little kid.
I mean, I was more thinking about the revolt behind the revolution.
Yeah, no. Hey, the revolution needs to be televised. People need to wake up.
For real.
You know, it's interesting. Like, I had a great conversation with. Did you see my show yesterday with Eric Weinstein?
I saw a piece of it. I couldn't catch the whole thing.
It was really great. And one of the things we spoke about it offline as well, is, you know, hip hop is such a powerful movement. And I think you and I both come from that world and that generation of hip hop. But what is it now that is revolutionary? And that would be another question that I would pose to you. Like a lot of the young rappers that my daughter likes, for example, you know, they're all about drugs and, you know, sex and money and fame, and then they get co-opted by record companies that then make $1 trillion on them, and now they become, you know, what is the actual revolution that is happening, much like, you know, the 60s, perhaps Bob Dylan, perhaps what is the new revolution? Because if it was going to spawn out of anything and grow out of anything, wouldn't it grow out of hip hop? And it feels like it's kind of hard to effloresce out of something that feels so manufactured and contrived.
Yeah. Well, right now I feel like the real revolution is with the earth. I mean, the earth doesn't really need us here anymore. And
Did it ever really need us, the earth? Yeah,
no, no. And so
exactly.
I think like the Green New Deal, like all these ways that we can take action and take care of our planet so that we can be around is definitely part of the revolution right now. Because like I
Right.
don't things are going back to normal. I don't think we had it normalized very well in the first place. And yeah, we just need to like reimagine, reevaluate, deconstruct, rebuild everything, the whole live.
I agree with that. Someone said, Crazy J661 said, B-boying is the only part of hip hop that hasn't been infiltrated. I would say that's true for the most part because it's the least uh, monetized or able to be exploited of all of the crafts. I would say graffiti too, although you could argue that as well. But um, I would say you're right. I think that is. But what is that? Is it growing? Is it growing gardens? Is it not not plugging into the system and living off the grid? Is it not spending money? Because as we might move to one global currency,
Mm-hmm.
might is it perhaps not about that, but thinking about it going back to trading services.
Mm-hmm.
I get Shayla 538 that it's caring, but is that what you're saying? That it's perhaps, oh, stop eating what they taught us? Well, that's 100% true. You know, I feel like that. I feel like there's something there, but what is that revolution? And is there going to be, an artistic movement? Like I said to Eric yesterday, I said hip hop was started by children. This is a revolution that was started by kids, little kids, because they were the closest to pure and truth,
Mm-hmm.
right? Picasso said that in his art. Like my entire life has been about finding the truth of like when I was a child, so that I spent my entire life so that I could learn how to really draw as a kid. So he's going back full circle. And that's what hip hop was. B-boying was started by little kids in the Bronx, and MCing and DJing and graph writing. They were started by little kids. It was a pure movement that was countercultural.
Mm-hmm.
What is the purity now?
I mean, I think like knowledge, um, basically like of course growing your own garden so you don't have to hit the grocery store whenever you see something, but just little things like knowing how to separate your trash. Like I didn't know till recently that if you mix in like your compost with your trash, it creates more methane and it's like even worse. And if you separate your trash, like it can actually be like close to zero waste. Um, it's possible. Um, and then also just using your art is like you are a creative worker in this movement, and that we all need to like create what kind of messages we want our world to look like in the future, and how we want, if we want our kids to be here or not.
Yeah, it's a weird time right now, and I think it's a good time to have these conversations. And I think art has always been. When I look at artists that were revolutionaries, you have the Delacroix painting of liberty leading the people. You
Mm-hmm.
have many artists historically who have spoken about social justices and inequalities, from Gustave Doré to the great cartoonist, illustrator, painter, sculptor Anwar Daumier, one of my favorite draftsmen of all time, actually called by Degas the top three draftsmen ever. One is Michelangelo, Jean-Dominique Eng, and of course Anwar Daumier. Daumier he was a countercultural commentator on the narratives of what was going on in France. And I think that we need more artists to, yeah, clean the government. Judith says, Juno Me 20, clean the government, then destroy Monsanto. For sure. I mean, the people need to be less apathetic. And oftentimes I look at my own work, which is much about the celebration of culture. And I think, am I doing enough? Am I doing anything? Because I'm not, it's not politically motivated, like Amir One, who's very political, or artists that are, more politically centric. Historically in hip hop, it was all the early hip hop because it was countercultural. And then it was like, you know, the to me the timeline was like Public Enemy, NWA, you know, and it kept going, and now it seems to kind of like, yeah, I get, you know, the B-boy commentator also said you could find it, you have to dig, you know, because it's not available and accessible. It's like you could find information, but you have to dig, because the information that's given to us now through the media is bullshit. And so people are always like, oh, what's your source? What's your source? And it's like, dude, the sources are so corrupt. The sources are bought. There's
Sources
so
is
many.
media literacy.
What's that?
Media literacy and knowing how to filter out.
Yeah, and there's too much information. You know, it's like a potpourri of agendas and information. Too much information, and most of the information
I
is.
think your paintings are like amazing because like little kids will see that years from now. Like I saw it in my sister's music studio, and I was inspired by since when I was a little kid. And yeah, when kids pick up a spray can or break dance or dance period, you know, they feel like themselves, like they have superpowers. Like it might not come off as super hardcore revolutionary, but it is. It's an art revolution. It's the rage against the brush, right? Like,
I mean, that's why, you know, that's what this is all about, you know. And my daughter, we were laughing the other day because I was like, I got to get to Agana, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. And she's like, you realize that you're not making any money from Rage Against the Brush? Like, you don't like it. Like, I have all these commissions back here that I have to do, but I'm like doing Rage Against the Brush all the time because because I think it's a great portal of information, and people, you know, people need to get to people like Agana. You know, people need to get to people like Eric Weinstein. You know, people need to get to people who are interesting, informational, and wonderful people. And this is a great portal. Even though it's not my portal, it's Instagram's, and at any time they could probably just snatch this up and just, you know, delete it. The reality, you know what I mean? But it's a really great thing. And by the way, speaking of this portal, Agana, later today, I have at 1 o'clock, I have Alex Iono, who is a very young, good-looking, talented superstar, great voice. He's a gospel singer, and he's got 2.2 million followers on Instagram. He's got a quadrillion followers on YouTube. He's huge. So he's gonna come on the show at 1 o'clock. You should tune into Alex.
man,
Nice kid.
act.
Well, because I'm doing his album cover, so we're talking about the process, which is another thing. You know, I like giving people process, and I want to talk about the scarcity versus abundant mindset. I always notice that you're very abundant. I'm commentating right now on a little diatribe, positive one, monologue rather. Agana is very giving. She doesn't have a scarcity mindset, and I feel like that's the important thing of these, that you have to have an abundance mindset, not like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't want to tell them that. I'm not going to show them that. Like, you know, I show people that I have an airbrush that I use because I like to paint wet into wet. And I show people my easel, and I show people that I have, you know, glass here so that it makes my process easier, because it's important to share from the technical to the business side of how you do it, because it gives people information so that they can make themselves better. And I think you've always been that way. And I think street artists are more that way because everything has to be transparent to a certain extent. Even though you might do it in the shadows at night, the process is right there. I mean, there's a Ghana painting, and then she's getting the blue, and it's right there. It's not like hidden, secretive. It's for everybody. And I think that's really important. That's what makes street art also different than everything. Besides we're co-opting public space, we're beautifying, you know, the city and the urban landscape.
Yeah.
But what you're really doing is you're also making things transparent, and you're sharing something that people don't know how to get there. You know, that's the thing. Like, how do I get there? People don't know the steps. It seems like a mystery. You know, they see the footprints, but a lot of the footprints are kind of dusted out. So
yeah, the process is really important. And Yes, you make some good points.
No, but you were always that way. Like even on the show, like once again, Agana got dismissed the second round of the show. It was a probably the greatest mistake we made on stream. She was the really, one of, if not the most talented artist on the show.
Yeah, and I was definitely hurt. I'm over it now, obviously, but I think I was more hurt just because it felt like what happened was like kind of on some blackness, like racist shit with the noose, and I know it wasn't like up to you or whatever, but it just it felt like a lot of like systematic oppression, like heavy. It didn't feel like it was because of any other reasons besides just like media really just painting
Yeah,
wrong picture.
it was so long ago. It's kind of hard to reimagine that, but all I know is like when Darren and I were talking again, you know what I mean? Like, Yoket said, I really thought Agana was going to win after watching the first episode. Yeah, I could see that, and I could see why. But like when Darren and I were having a conversation a couple of weeks ago, Darren was the one that brought it up, and he goes, "Yeah, man, that was the biggest mistake we made is having Agana go." And that was the way that it was. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's reality TV. You know what I mean? And we had some great people, but yeah.
It was a blessing in disguise though, because right afterwards I got invited to go paint in Senegal and Spain. And so if I would have stayed on the show, I wouldn't have been able to go to those trips.
You're welcome for
Well, thank
kicking you off
you.
the show. No, I'm kidding. Listen, this is not a unilateral decision. The decisions on reality TV are communal. And when you think, this is a little bit of a diatribe I'm going to go into for the last minute, but when you think your show is your show and you start realizing that your show is not your show, there becomes also a personal disdain with the powers that be. And like, especially, I knew in the beginning it was going to go south because they started to do the train wraps in New York. And you remember Street Art Throwdown, how they had like feet running with these weird kind of illustrative monsters?
Yeah, but they
I
were
was like, that's not graffiti. Like, this is fucking terrible. Like, you guys are fucking up. You know what I mean? Like, I was disgusted by the marketing campaign. I was like, let me do the marketing campaign. Like, no, we have a big ad agency. Everything's incredible. We're just gonna kill it. You're gonna love it, BUA. We're doing train wraps. I'm like, it was horrible, a horrible marketing strategy to get an audience to already hate us, so that in the New York City trains underground, it was saying Street Art Throwdown. They were crossing out down and writing up, so Street Art Throw Up. Like, it's disgusting. So there was a great idea of the show. It was great because it was giving a platform for young artists to show their art. That's fucking amazing.
awesome.
But it was
Layers.
just a better way to do. It was just a better way to do it. That's all. And at the end of the day,
Do you know how many kids have come up to me though? Like, you're Agana from Street Art Throwdown. Like,
yeah.
people watch that show in classrooms. They still watch it too.
No, yeah. I mean, look, once again, conceptually, it's a great show. If they would have let me and Darren take the reins a little bit, chill with the production, chill with the fucking 15 cameras at the same time, with the budget that was probably about 5 times the budget that we needed, like, chill with my fucking co-host who knows nothing about the street art world. Like, it would have been a great show. But it was as great as it could have been for what it was, and they gave us the opportunity to get it on there. We have 1 minute left. Is there anything? What's that?
And I got to meet you.
Yeah, and I got to meet you, and you're an incredible talent. You're very gifted. You're very sweet. Your shit is real. It's raw, and I love you. And I always did from the first time I saw your shit. I was like, yo, she's nasty, dude. She's fire. We all thought that. That was the funny thing. We all knew that. We all knew that you were fucking ridiculously great. But anything you want to say? We have 30 seconds. Go.
I love you, Justin BUA. Cameron did this piece for me after he won.
Cameron's dope. Cameron, and you know, he deserved to win at the end. He crushed it. Cameron, Annie, and Grim are all super talented.
Fire.
Fire, for sure. Okay, guys. Love you.